Good afternoon, I'm Brandon Boner from On Focus, and today we're learning about some ballots that were incorrectly printed in the village of Stratford. I'm here with June Krieger to learn a little bit more about what's taking place and what measures they are taking to help resolve this. June, thank you for joining me today.
You bet.
So
Thank
tell me
you.
what happened this morning with the ballots here in Stratford.
Well, when we opened at 7 a.m., we had a lineup of voters, and the first ballot that was put into our DS200 tabulating machine was not accepted. The error message was that it was not programmed. The programming was incorrect. So I rebooted the machine, contacted the county clerk, and said that we have a problem with our machine. I guess in light of that, we all of the municipal clerks do a test the week prior. So my test ballots were fine. Everything went fine through the test. So it was a surprise that the machine wasn't working. So those voters who were in line and who voted this morning during that time put their ballot into an auxiliary slot. It's kind of a holding slot for the ballots when the machine isn't functioning. So in the meantime, the county clerk is on her way with a new machine for us. In the meantime, I had a text message from a friend who had voted earlier and was questioning why one candidate that she expected to see on the ballot wasn't there. So I, did some research and found that the pack of ballots that the election inspectors were using and that I had opened here at the office, used for absentee voting and our early voters, this section of ballots was wrong. Their legislative races were printed for someone else's district, not for the village of Stratford. So part of that packet that was there in front of our election inspectors was correct, part of it was not. So I quickly switched through and got all correct ballots in front of them. So when Nan Kotke, the county clerk, got here with our new machine, I said, I don't think we need it. We're going to put in one of these new ballots and make sure that it's accepting. So the machine was then accepting the correct ballot. So it wasn't really a programming error. It was that the programming in the machine was not matching these incorrect ballots. So now our ballots were corrected, and we've pulled those wrong ballots.
And you said that there was a number of ballots that were pulled into that auxiliary slot. How
Right.
many ballots were affected, or voters that were affected by this?
There were 54 voters that were given the wrong ballots. So by the time that I received this text and found that the ballots were wrong, there were 54 incorrect, but another 26 that were correct that were put into the auxiliary slot.
Now, based on voter registration, do we know who those 54
We
voters
do.
are?
We do, because the poll list, when you arrive there to vote, you're given a voter number. So we were able to go back and make our list of voters number 1 through 54. And we have the luxury here at the office that we have utility billing here in the office too, so we have a lot of contact information on our utility customers. So we have been calling and making personal contact with these 54 voters, and at the direction or consulting with the county and with the state elections commission, they've asked that we allow these voters, or request that if they're able to come back and re-vote. So we've taken those 54 incorrect ballots and secured them down at the election site. And then these new ballots from these re-voting 54 electors will be kept separate also. And then that'll be reconciled at 8 o'clock tonight when we close.
Now, this is affecting the first 54 people that voted in the village of Stratford.
Right.
Is there any other instances that other townships in the area might be facing with the same information that we're aware of, or this is the only incident that we know of?
The only one that I know of, and this was through Nan Kotke, the county clerk, was that there was another township that had some misprinted ballots also. The ballots have been printed by the same printer for years, is my understanding, and they're trying to figure out too how that ballot misprint has happened. So we verified, we went through our unopened packs of ballots and made sure that they were all the correct ballots, and the wrong ballots, the misprinted ones, were taken along with the county clerk.
So for the individuals that maybe have voted early this morning, if
Yep.
you've been not able to reach out to them yet, if they wanted to reach out to you to verify that they were on part of that 54 voters, are they
Yes.
able to do so? And if so, how would they get a hold of you?
Right. If they were voters number 1 through 54, we've contacted, I think we're short maybe 10
Oh.
that we haven't been able to get a hold of. So if you were voter number 1 through 54 and haven't spoken with one of us here from the office yet, please reach out by calling our office, 715-687-4166, and we will share with you what the process is so that you're able to come and re-vote before 8 p.m. tonight.
Now, June, does this affect anybody that maybe had filled out an absentee ballot here in Stratford?
No, before the county clerk left Stratford this morning, when she was here helping us through this correction process, we did open all of the absentee ballots. We had about 70 of them, I believe, that were presented here today, and they were all the correct ballots. So anyone that had absentee voted, either by mail or early voted during those couple of last weeks, they were all correct ballots.
So you've been doing this for a number of years. How has voter turnout been so far this morning? Did you see an uptrack in voter turnout for this midterm election?
Well, we are busiest in the morning, and then again at 5-ish to 6 or 6:30 in the afternoon. This morning it was nice that we were able to kind of pinpoint what numbers and when this happened based on the timestamp on my text message from my friend, and also then based on the fact that I looked at the clock at 8 and I said, we are at voter number 62. I said, you ladies are processing a voter a minute and you're doing a great job, even with this little issue with the machine. So I was able then to think that somewhere between 45 and 55, based on a voter a minute, is where we figured out the issue and got the correct ballots in place.
Awesome.
And that then served true when we opened up that auxiliary ballot and counted and found 54 ballots that were incorrect.
Well, June, I'm sure the residents of Stratford appreciate the work that you're doing. Is there anything else you want to share with them before we go today?
Just that we appreciate that everybody's been pretty supportive. There is one voter that we know is not going to be able to come back to vote, and we'll work that through with the Wisconsin Elections Commission tonight. So.
Sounds good. Thank you for talking with us. I'm Brandon Bonner from On Focus, and we continue to cover elections here in 2018. We'll see you guys later. As we continue our coverage here in 2018 for the midterm elections, we are meeting with Bob Culp. Bob, you represent District 69, and you learned today that your name was missing from the ballots. How did you learn that information?
I had a friend contact me on Facebook and say, hey, I didn't see your name on the ballot in the village of Stratford. And I thought, well, that's odd. And then actually she's the one that alerted the village clerk to the fact that my name wasn't on there. And the village clerk has done just a phenomenal job in making sure that the situation gets rectified and working with the county clerk as well as the Elections Commission and Wisconsin Elections Commission. So I'm very confident that at the end of the day, everything will turn out all right. But it's a good thing to have friends who are watching your back, and I guess this is a case where that happened.
Now, was there any other knowledge or information that's presented to you about maybe other townships that might have misprinted ballots?
The village clerk mentioned that another township in Marathon County may have had the same issue because the county clerk was working on that. I'm hopeful that it was a couple of isolated incidences and that they were caught early. And I guess I can only assume that that's the case. Certainly didn't see anything conspiratorial about this by any means. I think it was simply a printer error. And my guess is that those things will be taken care of in future elections.
The polling stations will remain open until 8 p.m. tonight, so if you haven't got a chance to get out and vote, now is your opportunity. If you are in the Marshfield area, or I don't like that either. I'm just going to say and close at that.
Yeah.
Polling stations will remain open until 8 p.m. this evening, so take your opportunity, exercise your right, and get out and vote this midterm election. I'm Brandon Bonner from On Focus, and we'll see you guys again.